Just one match this weekend. Wrestled Wisconsin on Sunday. Overall, a real good a duel. We thought our guys wrestled very well. At 25 is where the match started. David Thorne had last weekend off. We took it off for different reasons. He wasn't injured and stuff, but just for training purposes, and he looked great in this match on Sunday. Ends up getting a fall for the team, so that was impressive. At 133 pounds, we did have plans that Chris Dardanes wouldn't wrestle last week, which he did not, or this week most likely, and he did not. Our backup 33-pounder that we intended to wrestle got sick right before the competition, so we ended up having our backup 25-pounder, Corey Hudawanek, who's had a couple great wins for us this year as well, go up and wrestle 33. He had his hands full with Graf. And so that was a tough match for us. And then at 141 pounds, Nick gets us, Dardanes gets us back on track with a big win, close to getting a major decision. But he wrestled very well there. And then we move on to 149, and Dylan just seems to be getting better and better every single week. Wrestling Schmidt from Wisconsin, really a tough opponent, and has wrestled some people very well in his career. Dylan comes out and just hammers him, beats him 10-0, gets a major decision for the team. Just very impressed with the way he's wrestling right now. It's probably the best we've seen him wrestle up to this point of the year, so it's looking good for him. Then we go to 157. Zilverberg gets a real close win, a 5-4 victory over Wisconsin, who's a tough kid. The individual he wrestles a tough kid to put points on. We're impressed with Zilverberg. It was great to win this one. Last week, if guys remember, we lost a close one last second against Michigan State where he was leading the entire match. And so just big for him to come out and get the win here. Great to get a Big Ten win with the Big Ten championships coming up. A conference win is always important, and I think it's just important for these guys to be able to make sure they secure their wins and find a way to win. The close ones are always important to win those ones. So 65, moving on, Cody Yohn does another great job, gets a good win here against Wisconsin, keeps us rolling. Then we moved to 174, and that was kind of the big match that I think everyone was talking about this week as far as trying to figure out what's going on. Some guys watched the streamlined version of it, and it was, I think, hard for them to follow, especially with some of the announcing and stuff. I think it's difficult to really understand what's going on. But the basic gist of that match, Storley comes out, he doesn't score a takedown in the first period, goes the second period, he gets his escape right away or soon, and then doesn't score again. Third period, right at the beginning of the match, Storley's riding the Wisconsin kid. They get in a little scramble. Wisconsin's bench comes up, is concerned that there was a locked hands. They are asked if they want to challenge. They decide not to, and then they continue to wrestle. Again, later, the match gets stopped at 55 seconds, or with about 1:05 left. So Storley at this point had 55 seconds of riding time. The side ref had said to Storley, basically, from what I understand, that he thought he grabbed his headgear, and this is what I'm hearing from Logan saying, I don't think so. When and the side ref thought it was at some point during the scramble he saw him grab his headgear. So that's what we originally thought was going on, that they were trying to call for grabbing of the headgear. At the same time, Wisconsin wanted to appeal the locked hands, and I believe, from what I understand later, that it was something that happened earlier in the match. So I think there was a lot of confusion there, and no one really could understand what really took place. But coming out of the break, they basically said locked hands and grabbing of the headgear. So they gave the individual on bottom 2 points, and they took our riding time, which was at 55 seconds, almost a minute, all the way back to 40 seconds without adding time on the clock and for these different things. And so now Storley was in a jam. He had to ride the Wisconsin kid for another 20-some seconds to secure his riding time, then let him go with less than a minute left and be able to take the kid down, which he did exactly that, and then rode him out. So, a tough one. That one was really hard to follow a little bit, but Storley did a great job just coming up with it, especially with everything going wrong. And I think afterwards, talking to the refs and stuff, they just, kind of apologized, and I think some things maybe just got just kind of messed up there a little bit. But at the end of the day, he found a way to win, and that guy has done an amazing job of always coming out on top in these close ones. So it was impressive with what he had to deal with there to change speeds and find a way to secure the win. And then at 84, Kevin Steinhaus unfortunately had a forfeit. He moved to 97. Schiller battled with the Wisconsin kid. It ended up going to overtime where Schiller ended up taking him down and putting him to his back. So that was big. Schiller's wrestling really, really well. And again, those close ones are really important to win. As you get into the national tournament and Big Tens and stuff like that, you're going to be in a lot of close matches. And Schiller's done a great job of just proving that he can keep his focus and continue to wrestle. And that's something that, you can't teach. And he's done a real great job of just staying focused, level-headed, and just wrestling the situation. A lot of attacks in the match that he did not finish, but he was very aggressive, and so it was a great win. And then it finished at heavyweight with Tony Nelson going out there and dominating a very, very good opponent. Put up, I think he ended up winning by 7 points. He nearly had the major, but it was great to see him going out and score points. We know he's capable of that, and it was he did a great job. And if anybody had a chance to continue to watch, then we had an exhibition with Pat Smith at the very end after the duel was over, where he went out and had a win against one of Wisconsin's wrestlers who was a senior. And they wanted to give him a chance to step on the mat and compete for them one time. So that was just an exhibition match if people had a chance to watch that. But overall, the guys did great. We were impressed with them, and it seems like we're moving in the right direction. So now just trying to get ready for national duels.
Whoa!